name is Arielle Shipe and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below so you can stay in the loop as I post future videos. Today's video is all about GoPro, so it's a little bit different of a topic than what I usually cover, but I get so many requests for this on my Instagram, especially because I post so many GoPro photos and videos there. Everyone is always asking me like what equipment I use, what settings I shoot with, and all of those things. So I want to walk you guys through utilizing this to get some badass selfie like photos and videos. But first, I want to just show you guys a quick vlog from a 414er pass that my boyfriend and I did last week. And it was all shot on GoPro, so it really gives you a good idea of what's really possible with this tiny little camera.
Good morning. It is super cold right now. We're at almost, what is it, 12,000 feet? Almost 12,000 feet. We're gonna go try to hike 414ers this morning. Camped out in the van last night, and we planned on like getting some extra sleep by being here and spending the night here, but some sort of animal kept trying to get in during the night, so I think we got a total of like 3 hours. Anyways, right now we're making breakfast quinoa, which, you know, we'll see how it goes. We got some almond milk, strawberries, bananas, and then 2 different kinds of granola. I'm gonna use this kind. It doesn't have any grains in it. And then there's this kind as well. So these are all my snacks. I have watermelon. These are like chopped up baked sweet potatoes, pineapple. These are homemade energy balls that are grain free. They're mostly just like nuts and coconut. And then this is a gluten-free vegan pesto pasta dish so that I can eat all the things I can eat. Number 1. Somehow we have it all to ourselves. How cool is that? Taking a little snack break. Hiding from the wind. It's so windy up here. We already did the second summit, but it was just too windy to really film anything. So we're like just below it. It's up there. And then that's where we're going next. That will be 14er number 3 for the day. And then the last one is over there.
So much fun hiking that 414er loop. Honestly, when I got the autoimmune diagnosis a month or so ago, I thought I wouldn't be able to do things like that. So I'm really grateful that through my health protocol, I've been able to get my energy back and things like that. And I will touch on what I'm doing with my health protocol, but I kind of want to get my blood work back first. That way I can really show that this is truly improving on a cellular level before I go out and, you know, give anything that people might take as advice. So I will get that to you guys eventually, but I definitely want to wait till my next blood work. So in the meantime, I want to talk about GoPro. It's like one of the number 1 things I get requested for on my Instagram, and it's kind of been a cool journey. So a lot of you guys might not know this, but the first like 40,000 followers that I got on Instagram, so maybe the first 2 years that I was like actively posting on that platform, were all GoPro photos. Like not even videos. And it was, what did I have? I think I had a GoPro 4. I started with a GoPro 4. And then I think I upgraded to the 5 eventually, which I bought myself. I convinced my boyfriend to trade in his old one so that I could get a deal on like a newer one. But I only used GoPro for all of my photos for like the first 2 years. And there were a couple reasons for that. I mean, the first reason was I was doing a lot of stuff alone, like a lot of hiking alone, and so I wanted to be able to get content. And then the second piece was I just didn't like having to ask people to take my photo. Like I just felt so awkward doing that, especially because I don't know, I mean like my page was growing, but I don't know if I like really took myself all that seriously at first, because I didn't go out trying, like setting out to grow my Instagram following. It just kind of started to happen. So I think I was kind of just surprised by it. So a GoPro is awesome because I was able to get great photos and I didn't have to ask anyone, or I could go out on adventures by myself. And I was always kind of the thought belief that the adventure was more important than the photos. And so I felt like GoPro was kind of an unobtrusive way to record these memories. I would literally, you know, hike myself up to an alpine lake, turn on my camera, like take a, like, you know, spin in circles for 5 minutes, laughing at myself, taking photos of myself laughing. And then I would turn it off. I would never look at the photos, and I would go back down. And there were some days that I would get like awesome photos that were amazing. And there were other days where I literally got nothing. But for me, it is still this way, and it always has been more about the adventure, more about spending time out in nature, and less about like, if I'm for sure gonna get the shot. I mean, obviously now that I'm working with a lot of brands and things like that, I have to be a little bit more intentional for those photos, but for the most part, I literally just go out and adventure, and if I get some cool shots, great, and if not, also fine. I'm just happy to be out there. So the GoPro really was the key for me getting my Instagram up and off the ground. And I think it's a really, really amazing camera, and it just continues to get better. I actually am rocking the GoPro 7 now, which is their newest one. And I've kind of, you know, I've upgraded every single time because I use the GoPro so much. So I wouldn't say you have to upgrade every single time they come out with one. The cameras definitely hold their value, but for me, because so much of my business now is, you know, creating content and things like that, I kind of want to have the latest and greatest. And honestly, if you don't have a GoPro, I would recommend getting the 7 over any of the older models. And the main reason is because it has, what do they call it? Like hyper smooth? I don't know what their exact terminology is, but in their video, it has basically a device that acts like a gimbal. A gimbal is something that allows you to have smooth video even if like your arm is shaking. And so if you've noticed, you know, in the last couple of months, or I guess the last month since I've gotten the 7, I've been posting a lot more videos, and I think it's because I feel like they just look so much better because they're not all shaky. So definitely highly recommend getting the 7 if you are looking to upgrade, or if you are just looking to start your GoPro collection. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is I get asked all the time what like selfie stick I use. It's called the 3-way arm. It looks like this, so it can bend in all sorts of different shapes. I like this one because I can make it like not be so obtrusive in the photo. You can get the GoPro one. I started with that one, and I would say is probably a slightly better quality than the one I have now. But I did break it over time from lots of use, and so I've had to replace it a couple times. And they do make really cheap versions on Amazon. Like I think this one was maybe like $15 or $20 on Amazon, and it's like almost exactly the same, maybe slightly less better quality. But yeah, so the 3-way arm is the way to go. And the way that I usually use it when I'm taking photos is I usually make like a kind of, you can see it's kind of a curved shape, so that when I'm utilizing the selfie stick, it's curved. Now, the second thing that's really cool about this particular stick is it does have a tripod that you can unscrew this bottom piece, and then you can screw it in if you're talented at this, and then you can like set it up like a little tripod, and you can have it like tall, or you can have it folded down. This is a little more stable. Sometimes if it's on that tall setting, it's really wobbly and it will fall over. And I have actually broken the lens cover on this before it cracked from falling over and hitting a rock. So they're not totally indestructible. Luckily, it is a quick, a really easy fix to fix that lens cover. However, when you're out in the wilderness, you don't have extras of those with you, and it's not easy to just hop on Amazon. So definitely try to avoid that. So the reason I like the little tripod as well is there was a lot of, now for the most part, I try not to shoot, like if it's not selfie style, I'll try to shoot it with a regular camera or have someone else shoot it with a regular camera. However, when I first got started, I wanted to have shots that weren't all selfies. And so using the tripod, I would put the tripod on and then turn my camera on and go do my thing and then come back. And again, I almost never checked to see what I got until later. So it was always a big surprise. So the next thing is the shooting mode. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, like I don't actually know the kind of detailed settings. I don't change any of the like aperture or ISO or any of those other things that you can kind of customize on here. If that's something you want to learn a little bit more about, I do have some friends who either work for GoPro currently or used to work for GoPro, and I'm totally happy to ask them if they'd want to come do a cameo and have like a follow-up video about some of those kind of more detailed settings, because they'd definitely be able to tell you more. I'm hoping that by me telling you this, you're gonna realize you don't have to know everything to get out and do really cool things and create some awesome content. I definitely have learned so much as I've gone. The one thing that I do use that I think is really important is knowing the difference between shooting in linear and shooting in wide. And then when I'm shooting photos, I shoot in time-lapse mode. So time-lapse mode, let's see, I'm gonna turn my GoPro on, hit the button. I don't have any beeps on. Okay, so it starts in video mode, you can see me. And then if I hit this side button, it will switch over to photo. And then one more time, it switches over, hopefully that's not too blurry, into what's called time-lapse mode. It's like a little clock with a camera. So you can also tap on your screen in that lower left-hand corner and change it to time-lapse photo is what you want to have it on. I think mine came on time-lapse video, so you might have to change that. I have my time-lapse photo set to take a photo every half second. So you can do every half second as the fastest, all the way up to like every minute. But if you want to get those good kind of candid looking shots, then you want to do every half second. And I literally just put on my time-lapse mode, take my selfie stick out and hit that record button and take probably 100 photos just spinning around in circles. Some things to be mindful of is like the way your camera is tilted. So if you have really tall mountains behind you, you might have to tilt the camera up a little bit so that you get all of them. Or if you have something really low behind you, something that drops off, you might have to tilt it down. And that's something that took me a while to learn, to get the right angle. Another thing is whether you're shooting this way, so this is horizontal, or vertical, and the new GoPro will actually transition. You can see how the numbers turn to be the regular height, or if I turn it this way, they adjust. That's something new with the 7. The old GoPro didn't do that. And the reason this is helpful is on Instagram, for the most part, I have my images oriented vertically. So if you shoot everything horizontal, then you have to crop it and it's not going to be as sharp and as clear because you're cropping just the middle section. Whereas if you shoot it like this, it's going to end up being a higher resolution, because oftentimes people are like, how are yours so sharp and so clear? And it's because I'm now shooting them mostly like this. Now, when I'm shooting for YouTube, I do shoot everything like this. So the video that you guys watched at the beginning was all shot horizontal. And then if I'm shooting video for Instagram, again, I turn it sideways. So those are my best tricks there. Oh, the last piece, like I said, linear versus wide. So if you have something that's kind of like big and dramatic and it's right behind you, like you're standing right at the base of a mountain, having it on wide could be really cool because you'll really get the whole scene. However, wide angle makes everything behind you look small. So if you're standing at the top of a mountain and you have all these peaks around you, if you put it on wide, it's just not gonna look very impressive. So I shoot actually a lot of my stuff in linear mode, which is, I think that was something that shifted when they came out with the GoPro 6. So it's on the GoPro 6 and it's on the GoPro 7. And it's made a big difference in whether like, it kind of takes away that warping like action and allows it just to be more of a flat image as well. But like I said, if you're shooting something really dramatic behind you, sometimes it's hard to capture all of it. Or if I'm shooting myself snowboarding, I'll usually have it on wide so you can see my whole body and I'm not cut off. Because I feel like that's kind of the best part about the snowboarding, is to see the whole body, the snowboard and everything like that. So honestly, these are some of my best tips and tricks. If you guys want me to pull in a friend to give you some of the like background info about other settings, I'm also happy to talk to you guys a little bit about how I edit them. I don't do anything major. And for those first 40,000 followers, when I only used GoPro, I didn't have any editing software outside of the Instagram app. So you don't have to be like a master editor to do all of this. Although I will say now I use an app called Snapseed and it helps me a lot. So let me know if there's any questions that you have that I didn't cover in this video. This is, I guess, like quite a bit different than all my other ones that are health and wellness, but I get so many requests for this. And yeah, if you haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe button below. And thanks so much for taking a little time out of your day to check in. I'll talk to you soon.